Inside Michigan Basketball is presented by Meijer. Welcome to the show, everybody. So happy to have you with us again this week. You know, every single bracketologist out there has the Wolverines as a bubble team as we hit the stretch drive of the regular season. And the best thing about playing in the Big Ten, there are plenty of opportunities. The Wolverines play 5 ranked teams in their final 8 games, and that stretch started with the Ohio State Buckeyes on Saturday night. This game, the first ever blowout at Chrysler Center. Early stages, Eli Brooks finds Moussa Diabate, the big guy with the jam and some early momentum. Speaking of momentum, add a pinch of Diabate to your D and make some instant offense.
Up ahead, Jones storms his way down. He'll lay it up low on the left and score it. Michigan doubling up the Bucks 8-4.
That's a tough finish for DJ. OSU's E.J. Liddell, one of the Big Ten's best, the bucket and the foul, a 3-point trip, and the Buckeyes up by a point. Brooks hit 3 3-pointers, but overall, the Wolverines struggled from deep, hitting only 4 of 17. Then it's Brooks the playmaker with the curl and dish to Hunter Dickinson. Michigan down 3 at the half, 33-30. Second half, Liddell doing his thing. Such a tough matchup, he scores to put OSU up by 7. And then watch this, Cedric Russell just fearless, a 25-footer, and it's 46-36. Brooks hit another milestone in this one. Off the inbounds, Caleb Houston finds him cutting to the hoop. He passes 1,000 career points, 17 coming in this one. Jones again showing prowess in transition. Goes strong to the rack, maintains control, and finishes. Devontae with 8 points, 8 assists, and 10 boards. The Wolverines trying to stay within striking distance.
Feed it into Dickinson. One dribble and a 2-hand cram. Once again, a 5-point game, 5:27 left.
Hunter finished with 14, but Liddell answers with a bomb. The big guy from the corner, he buried a game-high 28. Ohio State marches into Chrysler and knocks off the Wolverines 68-57.
Now this loss hurts for sure. We wanted to build momentum off the win versus Purdue and Penn State, but obviously, losing this game was, not good for us, and obviously something that, we need to try to learn from and build off as we try to make this run at the end of the season.
Oh, it's a game we should have won. We had costly mistakes. We weren't really hitting shots like it was on Thursday. But back to the drawing board. We got to get on the road soon and go to Iowa. So we got to just worry about the next game.
You guys hit 12 threes on Thursday, 3 tonight. How do you explain such a contrast?
It's the way it's basketball. You ain't gonna be able to make shots every game. That's when we got to start, going to the hole. Being more effective at the basket, playing a lot of defense. This is something we got to work on more. I feel like we had costly mistakes. Liddell had some tough shots. Give him credit, but if the shot not going in, we got to just continue to keep shooting the ball.
Are you guys feeling any fatigue? Was fatigue a factor at all tonight?
No, I don't think there's a factor out there. I think as a team, we pride ourselves on being, the most competitive team in the country, and so that's something that you got to embrace and I guess power through, because it's a long season. Everybody plays the same amount of games, and so it's something that you just got to fight through.
You're a leader on this team. You had one of your rivals here in the home court. What is your message to your teammates now after this loss to the Buckeyes?
We just got to come in and find solutions on how to come back and figure it out, because we play them very soon. So obviously we're going to make some adjustments and change some things up for the next game. But till then, we're on to Iowa.
Juwan Howard's post-game comments are brought to you by Meijer.
Well, we got some good looks. We had shot 4 for 17 from 3, and there were some really good looks at the basket. I would say maybe 5 of them was forced, but other than that, it just didn't go in for us. But we stayed with it, and we continue to keep grinding.
The Wolverines took 2 out of 3 this week, a positive sign as they hit the final weeks of the season.
I've been seeing a lot of growth from our guys, and to be able to get a win in Penn State, in a tough environment, very tough, competitive team, and then also, our game, Thursday night at home, our crowd was in it. Just today, I just feel bad that, we didn't get the win, because, it was beautiful just to see the support that came out today to support the team, and then also everyone band together to wear blue out. There was a lot of excitement in the building.
This game caps a back-breaking stretch, part of their prep before their next game do nothing.
In some type of way, I'm going to try to lock the doors and make sure they do not come in and get any workouts in, not touching the basketball, because I think it's important for them to get away from it, not just physically, but also mentally. And then I told them after the game, I'm sure there's something as far as an exam or paper, and I got to go back to my notes to take a look as far as what they have, from some of their classes on work that's coming up. They can really get to that tomorrow, and we'll try to play catch up. Because when you look at it from 3 and 5 nights, it's very challenging when you're sitting at a laptop or a book and you're trying to read and try to take care of your academics, and you're falling asleep at the same time because you have a lack of rest. So tonight and tomorrow, it's important for our guys to get away and get back into their books.
Still to come, the Wolverines take down the number 3 team in the country. A Michigan legend returns to Chrysler and meet an impact freshman helping the women's team make history. Inside Michigan Basketball is brought to you in part by Meijer, official sponsor of Michigan athletics and proud sponsors of local sports teams across the Midwest. Tuesday, the Wolverines rallied from an 11-point halftime deficit to win at Penn State, 58-57. Hunter Dickinson registered his 6th double-double of the season with 19 points and 15 rebounds. The 7-footer also swatted 4 Nittany Lion shots. Eli Brooks was next on the score sheet with 16. It wasn't the prettiest game of the season, but a win is a win. 2 nights later, the Wolverines were back at Chrysler for their rematch game against Purdue. Eli Brooks playing in his 147th career game, a new program record. And when you factor in all the variables, this was the Wolverines' best performance of the season. Hunter Dickinson trying to set a tone early, big-time block on Purdue star Jaden Ivey. Opening minutes, Devontae Jones makes the steal, and facing the ultra-athletic Ivey, he sneaks it up and in. DJ with 11 points and 10 assists. Then watch Moussa Diabate on the low block.
Up fake against first. He spun on him. He laid it in. And one coming.
The spinorama and the foul. Michigan up by 8. Ivey always good for a high-level highlight or two. He explodes to the rim with the one-hander. He led the Boilers with 18. Michigan finished the half on a 14-5 run. Dickinson dishes to Diabate for one of his 4 rim rattlers. Then Hunter steps outside, hits a 3 from the far corner, and that put him up by 9. With the clock winding down, Eli Brooks dishes to Diabate, the freshman with a career-high tying 15. It was 38-29 at the bathroom break. Second half, they keep expanding the lead. Eli Brooks, wide open look, and he buries it. That's their biggest lead at 53-36. On this trip, Hunter with a brilliant fingertip flip.
He'll miss a layup. Tackled by Dickinson to John!
Brooks helped put this one out of reach with 8 points in 63 seconds. He scored 16 of his 18 in the second half. The splash from the corner.
It's good!
The runner.
Float right of the lane and swish it down.
And a 3 in transition, just letting it fly with confidence.
Brooks catch and shoot 3. Yes, sir!
He was a perfect 4 of 4 from deep. Dickinson was 4 of 6 from deep. He led him with 22 points and a career-high tying 15 boards. The lead is at 26. Houston, shooting with great confidence, also drained 4 bombs and finished with 14 points. Michigan dominates the third-ranked Boilermakers 82-58, the highest-ranked opponent they've defeated under head coach Juwan Howard.
Great job. Wow, you guys did a hell of a job competing out there from start to finish. We talked about really getting into guys and making them work for every bucket. That was a great example right there. From start to finish, you made them work for every basket that they had, and they earned every basket. But more importantly, you guys were extremely disruptive. Did a great job communicating on defense. Did a great job of getting guys off the glass, and that's a tough team that competes. And they put pressure on the basket, whether on drives or offensive rebound. And to speak about the drives, collectively, keeping that man in front. We know what we're talking about, Ivy, which is tough. And you guys be able to keep him in front and not allow him to just get downhill freely like how we did, in West Lafayette. We made good shots. We made great decisions with the basketball, limited turnovers, as well as many assists. So when you look at the stats, you'll see it. And you'll see it and you'll start to visualize exactly why on that stat sheet. And there are going to be some things on that stat sheet that didn't show up. And that was what the preparation was all about. Everyone collectively just being present. Being present, because we had built-in excuses to show up here and let a team just beat us on our home court. But you guys said, no way. You did what you had to do to prepare for this. So I'm proud of you. I know the staff is proud of you.
Man, it's great. I just feel like that was a total team win from start to finish. I think, we finally played a full 40 minutes against a really good Purdue team that, really challenged us, but I think we all stepped up to the occasion, 1 through 15. And I think, it was just a great team win for us.
Was this a little personal redemption for you? Because last Saturday you had a little foul trouble, right? And you're playing a team with 2 good bigs, at least 2 good bigs. Just your motivation factor going into this one.
Definitely. I feel like I've been struggling like those last 3 games, and just coming in, just trying to stay locked in, not think about what happened, and just stay in the moment. That was the main plan right there, and thank God he happened to be my man, my day. So yeah.
Did you guys walk out of last Saturday's game confident that you could beat this team the second time around?
Most definitely. We feel like we should have won that game. So we came into practice. We didn't overlook no Penn State team. We went out there and it was a hard-fought game. Came out the victory, but we was waiting for this game. This one we really wanted. So you can see how we played. Everybody played with confidence. So even though Adrian got in, Ian got in, we was happy for all those guys. So like I said, it was a great team effort.
This portion of the schedule has been cyclonic for the Wolverines. Saturday ended a stretch of 4 games in 8 days, leaving limited time for rest and recovery. They'll end the season on a similar stretch. That puts even more impetus on the training and strength and conditioning staffs. Guys receive treatment before, after, and between games to maximize their ability to bounce back and perform at a high level.
Obviously, cold tubs, contrast baths are huge. We do a lot of Normatec compression, and a lot of it is just managing practice volume. Coach has been doing a great job of just kind of tearing back a little bit, just so guys are ready for games. But it comes down to just nutrition, sleep, all the things that Mom and Dad taught us when we were little, the simple things, and just get a lot of stretching, just getting ourselves ready to compete night in, night out.
Brian Bush joins us now to talk about the game with the Buckeyes. Brian, the question begs after this long stretch of games at a short amount of time, does this team look or feel fatigued to you?
Yeah, I mean, players aren't going to admit it, but it did seem like, especially in the second half offensively, that some of the shots were a little bit off, maybe a little bit more flat-footed than normal. Michigan has had to rely on their starters a lot during this stretch, really a lot all season long. So they're not going to admit it. You hear it all the time. This is a program for competitors only, but I do think it's fair to at least wonder if that had an effect 3 games in 5 days.
Brian, the Big Ten is so competitive. There's so many good teams. Only 4 bench points for the Wolverines. What do they need to do to find more production out of the bench? Because they need it, quite frankly.
No doubt. I mean, this is a team that we've seen them be able to go 8, 9, even 10 deep. They have the capability. But listen, the Big Ten's tough. You know that, Ed. This is a league that really grinds you out. You have to lean upon your stars to be stars in order to get wins, especially on the road in this league, which Michigan will have to do this coming week. But it's capable, that bench, but we need to see it. And I do think that Juwan Howard and company, they rely on those starters more than maybe any other team in the Big Ten.
Ohio State is not considered an elite defensive team, but they sure looked like it on Saturday. What did they do to kind of throw the Wolverines out of their rhythm?
Yeah, it was interesting. I think both teams made the other offense's shots difficult. Ohio State just made some tough shots, and in particular, E.J. Liddell made some tough shots. But, for that Ohio State defense, listen, they were able to bother Michigan. I think the fatigue played a little bit of a factor, but you tip your cap. They were the better team in this one, and defensively, they made Michigan really have some tough opportunities.
We don't normally gush about opposing players on this show, but you mentioned E.J. Liddell. Just how tough a matchup is he?
Yeah, I think he's a particularly tough matchup for Michigan because he's a little bit undersized. He can shoot from pretty much anywhere on the floor. He was great at the free throw line when Michigan did force him to earn it at the line. He did. I mean, he's one of the best players in the country. I think he's got a chance to be a first-team All-American, and he is the heartbeat for that Ohio State team. And on the road, you need your heartbeat to do what he did.
Brian Bush, thank you so much.
You got it.
Our Elrose Steelman of the Week pays tribute to a longtime friend of Michigan athletics. Al Glick, the chairman and CEO of Elro, passed away this week at the age of 95. Glick had an immense passion for the university and was extremely generous with his time and resources, a man the entire Michigan family will deeply miss. Sunday, the women knocked off Iowa in a highly entertaining game at Chrysler. Naz Hillman tied the school record for career double-doubles with 44, etching 26 points and 10 rebounds in the scorebook. Freshman Layla Felia popped in a career-high 24, and Maddie Nolan was dialed in from distance with 4 3-pointers. Caitlin Clark, the nation's leading scorer, put on a show, hitting from Jackson County it seemed. She had 46 points as a furious Hawkeye comeback fell short. The Wolverines improved to 20-2 with a 98-90 win, their highest point total of the season. Thursday, the Wolverines traveled to East Lansing for the first of 2 meetings against the rival Spartans. Down 9 entering the fourth, Michigan trimmed the deficit to 1 on a layup by Hillman with 1:38 to play. She had a game-high 27. But MSU responded and held on for a 63-57 win. The loss snapped Michigan's 8-game winning streak. Here's Sarah Van Meter with more on the team.
The Wolverines are led by a solid group of seniors, but there's a freshman who continues to make her mark. She recently cracked the starting lineup due to the injury to Leah Brown, and you would never know this is her first year of college basketball.
It's just hard to put it in words. Like, the culture here is just so different, and being able to really come into this environment just made me already just feel comfortable, feel at home. So I feel like that's the biggest thing for me.
Being on a successful team is nothing new for Layla, who won 2 Ohio State championships and ended her high school career with a 72-game win streak.
I love to attack the basket. I love to play defense and stuff. I know the coaches use me a lot on the defensive end, so I feel like just being able to take pride in that and rebounding, I feel like I'm able to really get up there. So I would say that, and then I'm trying to develop a shot, but my go-to game is attacking.
She's getting more comfortable by the day, which is good news for the Wolverines and bad news for the rest of the Big Ten.
I get a little nervous. But the girls have really put it in my head that I'm a freshman out here. There's nothing you should be afraid of.
School is going well, life in the dorm with the rest of her classmates is good, and she isn't homesick.
God's grace upon grace. I have the number 5 here because I've always been number 5. A couple years ago, I was going through just really taking a deeper look into my faith, and I feel like getting this tattoo just helped me because I feel like I've had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of obstacles I had to get through. Ever since my freshman year, I hurt my hip flexor pretty bad. Then going sophomore year, I was in a major car accident and bad concussion, bruised ribs and stuff. And I feel like I really had to lean on God during that time and just take a deeper look into the Bible. So I feel like I'm always number 5, and looking into that 5 means God's grace upon grace, and no matter what, I'm going to lean on Him throughout the rest of my time here in college and so forth.
For Inside Michigan Basketball, I'm Sarah Van Meter.
Inside Michigan Basketball is brought to you in part by Meijer, official sponsor of Michigan athletics and proud sponsors of local sports teams across the Midwest. Saturday, a Michigan legend returned to Ann Arbor. Rudy Tomjanovich was honored for his 2021 induction into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. Rudy T., a Hamtramck native, was an All-American and a 2-time first-team All-Big Ten honoree. We'll have more on the school's all-time leading rebounder on next week's show. You won't want to miss that story on Tomjanovich. He talks about his days playing at Michigan, and he also talks about this group of Wolverines, especially big man Hunter Dickinson. Relatively speaking, this is a light week for the Maize and Blue. They head to Iowa Thursday, the Hawkeyes, the top-scoring team in the Big Ten, and then Sunday they head to Madison, Wisconsin, their only matchup this season with the Badgers. We'll see you next time, right here on Inside Michigan Basketball.